Hello, listener. Thanks for pressing play. You picked a good one. On this episode of the Jock and Nerd podcast, we kick off 2018 by taking a look back at the superhero genre last year. Friend of the show, John Bellotti Jr. joins us as we rank the superhero movies of 2017, plus take a look ahead and discuss what superhero films we are most excited for this year. And we got an audio comment to share. I love when we get these. We need more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, January 4th, 2018.
Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up. We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. We jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Now, you can't see this, but I was dancing in my seat like an idiot.
Ugh.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
Jock and Nerd.
What do you like? Square dancing in your seat? What kind of dancing does Imran do?
I was doing a very lame in the club.
What's a cool
dancing.
dance for you?
I don't know. It's a lot of just bouncing. It's in between like Indian Bhangra dancing you see in Bollywood and like break dancing.
And then you just being naked and like thunderclapping your nuts against your taint?
Yeah, sure. Is that what that sound was?
I think it was.
My.
Shit.
I've seen it.
Also joining us over there in the corner, you can smell him from where you're sitting, listener. It's everybody's favorite felty American, Rugged Boy. Good earth to you. How's it going?
What's up, dudes? How's it going?
Very good. How you feeling today, Ruggs?
Fucking cold.
Yeah, it's cold as shit out
It's
there.
below zero.
Yes, it's cold everywhere. And then also joining us, another special guest. It's a guy that when he's not painting sets on NBC's The Blacklist, and when he's not doing kick-ass vector Godzilla illustrations at robo7.com.
Who's Hector?
Hector, not Hector. He's here joining us on the show, calling out all of Hollywood's bullshit. Of course, it's everyone's favorite New Yorker, John Bellotti Jr. What's up, Johnny?
Hola, guys. ¿Cómo está?
It's cold as shit everywhere in this country. Rugs. Yeah.
Wait, what? One thing about being cold. I know, we were having the below zero. And like today, which is Thursday, January 4th, it was like 15 degrees. I walked outside. I was like, it's pretty warm out here today.
I was just telling them the other day, I went outside and I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
I wonder how, and it's like 25 degrees.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels fucking great. 25 degrees. Ruggs, I'm most concerned about you because I know puppets and space heaters are not a good combination.
It's pretty dangerous. It's a
I
dicey
know,
situation.
I know a lot of your family. You've lost a lot of your family.
You know, when
from those.
First thing you gotta be aware of is like when plastic gets too close to a heater, it starts to crinkle.
You don't even need to stand next to it.
So I've singed a little bit of my hair already.
Oh no, it's all like hard and plasticky on one side.
Don't worry, I'll add it to my look.
We got to fluff that out. Now, if you are a new listener, thanks for checking out the Jock and Nerd podcast. This is the part of the show where I attempt to come up with a tagline to explain to you really quickly what we do here. Now, regular listeners of the show will know this has kind of been problematic because we had one initial tagline. It was something comic book, something curator, bullshit, very cringy. Anthony did not like that one, right, Anthony?
That's not that I don't like it. I find it funny you say interviews and we haven't done an interview.
Well, that was then I modified it to like real simple catchline. Here's what you get when you subscribe to the show: comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and interviews. And we used to do a lot of interviews, and now I'm catching shit for that because, I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of interviews.
We have guests, which is like we talk to them.
Correct. Now we got a.
What's the last one we had? Mike Rips.
And that's still marked in your brain. It's still burned into your skull.
I wasn't even on that show.
We're still quoting it.
I still quote that shit.
I'll tell you, when we have interviews, they're fucking memorable. That's for sure. You'll be quoting that shit for years. We got an audio comment, finally.
Oh, shit.
I was so happy from one of our awesome listeners, Patreon supporters, truck driver John Seifert. And usually I play this feedback at the end of the show, but he has advice for us about our tagline. Here it is.
Hey guys, it's John Seifert calling you, proud Patreon supporter of the show. Big fan, big fan. Hey, I've got an idea how to solve your problem. You know how in the beginning of every show, you say news, reviews, and interviews. And we all know the interviews never actually happen, or rarely anyway. So instead of saying that, you say news, reviews, and whatever we choose. And then this way, anybody who wants to go on a tangent about Trump or whatever you want to talk about, boom, you're all set. Okay, now I'm still working on a solution for Imran's male pattern baldness and Rug Boy's erectile dysfunction. All right? But those problems will be solved at a later date. For right now, this is a freebie. Okay? Whoa. Take care, guys. Love your show. Bye.
Am I going to have to pay for, boners now?
Yeah.
John figures it out?
John, thank you so much. I love John. He's a big fan and a great listener. And you know what? I like that. News, reviews, and what you choose. I think he wants us to talk about Trump.
And whatever we choose.
Whatever we choose. So we may run with that. Thank you so much, John, for being an awesome listener and supporter and contributor. So this show, here's what we're going to do. You've seen the title.
I like that.
Yeah, I really like that. It's 2018, everybody.
When did we mention your male pattern baldness?
Well, I think we did.
It's always mentioned it.
I think every episode.
Yes.
Oh,
fuck, I'm sorry.
At his head. Come on.
That's right.
Everybody knows you rub my bald spot for good luck, Anthony. He still does that.
I do rub your bald spot. It feels like kiwi.
And then he smells it.
And then he smells his fingers.
And then I smell my fingers.
And
that's
I think
and then I stick them up my butt.
Anthony's on a never mind. I'm not even going to go there. I can't explain what he's doing at work. But no, we've definitely, at least once an episode, my male pattern baldness comes up on the show. So anyways, what we're doing this week, we will be ranking the superhero movies of 2017, the 6 major ones we reviewed, and then we'll take a look ahead and see what we're excited for next year. Right. Before we do that, though, if you are a new listener, I got to let you know where you can find the show. We are now on Spotify. We're new to the Spotify land. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, go ahead and click and share it out and stuff. So what happened was there was only 100 episodes on Spotify, and I noticed this, and David Malofsky pointed it out, and I had to fix a setting. So now all the episodes are on Spotify.
Nice.
Yes, and you can find us everywhere else you can find podcasts, like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, Player FM, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn, and all these smart home speakers that are listening to your every thought and sending it back to the government, like Alexa and the Amazon Echo. Just ask it to play the Jock and Nerd podcast, and it probably will.
And then the government can listen to us?
And the government will be listening, and those devices are your robot slaves. They have to do what you tell them.
Do it.
And also, one final program note. Anthony will be out next week. Anthony, you taking a little vacay, a little holiday? What's going on?
I am.
What are you doing?
Going on a cruise.
Oh, really?
But it's not what you think.
Okay.
The cruise is called Holy Ship.
Okay.
It's just a big party cruise. So it's basically like 6 or 7 stages.
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's what all cruises are.
I've been on a real cruise.
Oh, you have?
And they're not like they're going to be this is going to be the exact opposite of what I was on prior.
Is there food on this cruise?
Food, yeah.
Are there stops, or are you just like on the boat the whole time?
Goes from Port Canaveral, Florida, to like some private island for a private island party.
Fire Island? Is this another Fire Island thing? No. I don't think you want to go there.
No. This is established, and there's like 6 or 7 stages on the boat, so it's just going to be a big party.
Is that an EDM cruise?
It is. EDM hip hop house music, all sorts of stuff.
Hey, maybe you'll see David Zika there.
I hope not.
Shit.
Oh, shit. He is in Florida. He's right there.
He loves the EDM.
For this one, I don't want to see him.
Tell Zika I said hi, Anthony.
He's buying his ticket right now. He is on the computer looking for the cruise that Anthony's on, and you will be talking to him the whole time.
The Jock going on cruises. Must be nice.
Do it.
Well, have fun.
Do it, Zika.
And let's get to the ranking.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Listener, if you want to get involved in the show, if you want to send us your audio comment, just like John did, we'll play it. Just visit our website, jockandnerd.com/contact is the page that has all of our social media links, our links to our awesome Facebook group, SpeakPipe email. And I got to welcome a new member just today joining the Facebook group. Welcome, Michael McNutt.
I call shenanigans on this name.
Yeah, I knew somebody was going to say that, and I thought the same thing. Once I welcomed him, I was like, wait a minute. Is this someone just fucking with us because he wants to hear me say Michael McNutt? Seriously? But then I was like, this is Facebook. You can't fake out the Facebook. They don't let non-real people on there. So I did a little digging. Michael, turns out, it's pretty cool. He is a co-founder of the All-Star Comic-Con that takes place in June in Virginia.
Oh.
You can find out more information at theallstarcomiccon.com. And there
what is
you
he?
go.
Oh, co-founder?
Co-founder of this Comic-Con that's got cosplay. I looked up. They have one cool. There's a cool
cosplay.
person.
Really?
There's a lot
At
of
a
cosplay.
Comic-Con?
It's a lot of
kidding
cosplay,
me, dude.
Sign me up.
Dude, you know who's gonna be there? The guy who plays the Night King from Game of Thrones.
Geek Boner.
Vladimir Furdik. Slovak actor who currently plays the Night King.
Oh man, I hate shitting on our new listeners, but you're like this is just typical like Comic-Con shit.
Hey,
We have the guy that did the makeup for Godzilla in 1973 coming out.
Anthony, you're blowing up the
Don't
spot.
say that in front of John. He'll get pissed off. Do not belittle any Godzilla things.
Anthony, I was going somewhere. You're going to blow up my spot. Just follow me for a second.
All right,
Michael?
I'm looking at this list.
Okay, that's fine. Michael, All-Star Comic-Con Virginia in June. The first shout-out, Michael, is free. Thanks for joining the group. Now, we can plug
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
We can continue to promote the Comic-Con. If you sign up for the Patreon, you'll get another shout-out. And maybe we got listeners in the Virginia area. Maybe you sponsor a show or two. Maybe we get the word out.
We can officially squawk about this every show if you want to officially sponsor us.
If that sounds like something you want to do, Michael.
Yeah.
Gather up some enthusiasm for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Anthony will fake it. But look, I'm just throwing it out there. Just like throwing sponsorship ideas out there. That's it. That's all. Thanks for listening, Michael. Oh, and then the other thing, I want to start off this whole ranking looking back at 2017 superhero movies with an article Bellotti posted to our group, John.
Is he still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening.
John's always quiet at the beginning. He's got to get his.
Yeah, you got to get him ramped up.
You guys got to do your whole intro shtick, and then I come in.
There's a whole bunch of things. But, John, I like this article. I thought we could kind of lead with this just to take a look at the industry. Headline, U.S. movie ticket sales in 2017 were lowest in 25 years. It says fewer tickets were sold at U.S. movie theaters in 2017 than any year since 1992, according to Box Office Mojo. Last year, 1.239 billion movie tickets were sold, which is a mild drop from 2016, just under 6%. But 10 years ago, they were selling more than 1.4 billion tickets. You guys, is this streaming media starting to take a bite out of the movie monies?
I would say so. I mean, obviously, that's probably a big factor. I also think that it's gotten to the point with movies where unless a movie feels like an event,
right,
there's no reason to go to the theater.
No, there really isn't.
There's a lot of factors that are involved in this.
Yeah, it's not just one thing, because you could have said video games. Like, video games could have had a hand in that, like, 5 years ago, when Grand Theft Auto was coming out. And, I just think it's not, what was my comment? Make better movies? I mean,
yeah, that's also part of it.
I don't know if that'll do it either, but
I think it's the movie. There's got to be like this hype. Like Star Wars obviously has that, but like Wonder Woman had that, Logan had that, Justice League did not have that.
Yeah,
there's movies that just felt like, oh my gosh, everyone's talking about it. I have to go see it.
Sure, the event movies.
But that's fewer and fewer movies now are like that, and those low level films are not getting any love.
Well, the article ends with them saying how, was it Star Wars, Jumanji, and The Greatest Show on Earth? Yeah, Beauty and the Beast, they sort of came in at the end and sort of bumped up the overall ticket sales or something. Wasn't that part of the article? Like, they were like, it's
Jumanji and The Greatest Showman helped keep the year's final gross relatively strong.
I heard Jumanji's actually pretty decent.
It took over the first place spot from Star Wars this weekend, surprisingly. So, it's got a strong
I have
showing.
a hard time believing that movie's good, but whatever. Like, I mean, I'll watch it if it's on cable.
I'm kind of curious, dude. Karen Gillan looks hot. There's a redhead girl there.
There's a redhead girl.
She's a redhead.
Everyone's in.
I like the redheads.
He's thinking his butt. Well, listen, like, the whole thing with the movies is you got all this competition, of course. You got the streaming. You got people stealing shit.
Yeah, you
got the bootlegs.
Yeah,
you got the fact that all of these people getting fatigued out of these movies. Like, they're like, they've seen them all.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's just weird. It's just the hype. Like, the hype has to be built up, and it's crazy.
I mean, I think this is the future. I think, Anthony, I think you're right. Like, in the future, it's going to be only big budget tentpoles in the movie theaters, and your streaming networks, platforms are where you're going to find your indie guys and your experimental and your,
When's the last time you went to the movie for like a non-tentpole movie?
This year.
That's my point.
This year.
I saw The Big Sick, and that's why I think
of course you're going
one of the best movies of the year.
That's like an Imran movie. That's like, of course
I had to go, yes.
I have
If they
not.
made Rug Boy the movie, I would go, but it wouldn't be a big.
They literally made Imran the movie.
The last non-tentpole movie I saw was The Town.
Wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a number of years ago.
And that's my generation now.
Yeah, and that's the trend. So we'll get into all the monies these movies made, and it's just this is the future. It is a growing trend. But before we start talking about the movies, I got to issue this.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
So, look, the 6 movies we're going to talk about, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the 6 movies in chronological order, real quick, mini reviews. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll rank the movies, and then we'll talk about what we're excited for this year in 2018. So, the movies in question, these are the 6 we reviewed this year. Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Justice League, and I gotta say, you look at these movies, pretty solid year of movies for the superhero genre here, in my opinion.
I think we had the whole spectrum, actually.
Yeah.
We had, well, not BVS bad, but we had bad. We had
Nothing
okay,
that bad, yes.
We had good, and we had, like, really good.
All of these movies entertaining to some degree.
Yeah, I would say so.
I feel like that, like, they were all kind of in the serviceable area. Like, I don't think that anyone was, like, great. There was ones that were approaching greatness. But, And then there's none that was, like, complete dog shit. They were approaching dog shit.
Yeah.
So, that's a pretty good, actually.
Yeah, they all fall in the middle to high range.
That means they were all kind of pretty good.
Yeah, they were just like, they weren't, as I said, it wasn't as much as peaks and valleys as last year.
I mean, look what we got here. We have an end of an iconic character. We got an introduction of a new character to the MCU. We got 2 movies with Wonder Woman. We got our first female heroine. Lots of stuff here. And to me, each of these movies had something they needed to do to be successful. And that's kind of how it plays into my rank when we get to the rankings.
All right.
Let's begin with Logan.
Mr. Logan.
Jesus.
Please. We need a ride.
Not available. Call a cab.
My name is Gabriela
I don't want
Lopez.
to know your name, lady.
There are men after us. We need to get out of here. Go north. Cross to Canada.
Anyone can do that job.
I'll give you $50,000.
How did you find me, huh? Because you're fucking up my life, lady. The people after you, they're on my ass now.
Sightings were posted. Laura, go inside.
What sightings?
People said someone looked like the Wolverine was in El Paso driving. Said he looked old.
It came out March 2017 from Fox, directed by James Mangold. Rotten Tomatoes score 93%, average aggregated score 7.9 out of 10. This movie had an opening weekend of $88 million, had a domestic run at $226 million, worldwide $616 million on a $97 million budget. So, good start to the superhero season. Mini review, guys. What do you guys think of Logan?
Well, it's got the best score of all the other movies.
Oh, that's true.
And I feel like that it worked the best as a movie. It was for me, I thought it was well done on a lot of different levels. It was written well, acted well. It had emotional weight to it. The action sequences were a little bit lackluster to me, but I mean, in this type of movie, it's okay because there's so much other things working for it that the action doesn't really need to carry it as much. So with that said, I think it was a pretty solid movie.
Bellotti, I argue that this is an almost flawless superhero movie. This is the movie Hugh Jackman took a pay cut to keep the R rating. And wow, what an exit. Do you think it's close to perfection?
Actually, I'm reading what I wrote, like the notes for myself, and it's pretty low on my list.
Really?
Yeah, it is. I think basically it comes down to I was never really fully behind the X-Men films. So Wolverine, I felt, was just like, I felt like this was 17 years too late, this movie. And the directing was phenomenal. Well, I wouldn't say phenomenal. The directing was very good. The music was good. The acting was great. But I didn't like the clone. That didn't really do it for me. The way he died, I wasn't really into it. That's...
I would agree with that.
That would be my one critique of the movie, too. Like I said, I thought it was near flawless, but I watched a lot of these again. So I've seen all of them twice except for Justice League. And at the end, I was like, I don't know about the X-24 twice. It would have been nice to have seen Sabretooth, tie that back in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
That would have been a home run.
Anthony, how high praise do you give this movie?
I really like this film. Despite the X-Men being mishandled in the past, this film, as it's on its own, was just a really solid film. Really, really well acted. I thought Hugh Jackman and what's that guy's name? Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart and the child actress, whatever her name was,
Daphne Keane. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they were all really good. Good on its own, just not even just being a superhero movie, but just being a good movie. I agree. The clone thing was a little repetitive, especially since we've seen him fight other kind of Wolverine-like characters before, so that was kind of repetitive. But overall, I really enjoyed the brutality of it. I was just kind of unchained. There was swearing, but it felt like it wasn't swearing just to swear. It just felt like this was the world, and I really enjoyed this film. I don't really have many complaints about it other than the villain.
Yeah, no, I fucking love this movie. And Bellotti, you said it took 17 years, but I'm glad it took 17 years for us to finally get a Wolverine on screen like we wanted, to see just the violence and finally blood on the claws. He's fucking stabbing people through the head.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Unbelievable. Chopping off limbs and arms.
The thing is that we might not ever get that again now that Disney's buying Fox. They're not going to do it again. So it's like, you gave it to me at the very end, and that's all we're going to get. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it was good, but it's just like a cock tease, I guess. That's just how it felt.
No, I thought
that's
it was
the best way to describe it.
I think it's a perfect exit for Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I think that was a good exit for him.
Yeah. And
I have a lot of baggage when it comes to Wolverine.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be 5 foot something, hairy and unattractive, and he should be kind of like that Frank Miller Wolverine that I used to read when I was a little kid.
Yeah, but you can't deny Jackman owned this role.
But yeah, what Jackman did was he, against all odds, against everything, won me over because he really loved being Wolverine, and he did it justice. So even though he's like a 6'2" Wolverine, which doesn't make any sense, he would be a bear. See, he won me over. That's something that's not easy to do.
Yeah,
to win Rug Boy over. It doesn't happen.
I want to piggyback on that too. I think that's a big reason why I like this film, is you can see just the amount of passion with the director and with Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart for the characters, and just making this movie we're going to go as hard as we can on this because this is the send off we want to give him, and we want everyone to remember. You can tell they're not phoning it in. I feel like.
No, they're fully invested, and they set up Daphne Keane, who's just so good. She barely has any lines, and she is amazingly expressive.
I wish we would have got a shot of Wolverine in his costume, because we've had every other we've had Jackman as every other Wolverine.
Yeah.
We've had him in the Weapon X shit. We've had him
That's
in
true.
The fucking black leather.
That's true. Everything but the yellow or the black and gold or the black and burgundy.
That would have been the one thing that I would have just thrown on just for a gag.
I mean, remember they even shaved his beard into his sideburns as a joke at the end, the kids. Yeah. I don't know how you would have fit that in.
Well, they had a teaser at the end of The Wolverine.
Oh, it was in the case.
Where it was in the case. Yeah, I don't know why they never did that, but
they're going to do it now, though. I guarantee
they're definitely, while that Disney has it, they're definitely going
they're definitely doing that.
If he's showing up in the MCU,
it'll be that era of Wolverine.
Yeah. But to close out his reign, just a fucking awesome movie. I watched it again, and I was like,
not to side tangent this too much, but the Disney one has to have a Wolverine that is a little guy, right?
No, what do you mean, size-wise?
Size-wise, yeah.
Not necessarily.
I mean, unless Hugh Jackman comes back, go with the actual size of Wolverine.
They're in a predicament now because all the people that have seen Wolverine
want Hugh back.
Well, they they just know of him as being this big menacing dude.
They're familiar with that body type.
So now they're going to be like, what the fuck did you do to my Wolverine? Even though you're like, that's the way he's supposed to be, asshole.
If you show him a short, squatty Wolverine, it may be just too hilarious to take seriously now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of ruined.
It's just Josh Gad as Wolverine.
Josh Gad would make a great Wolverine.
No.
Zach Galifianakis as Wolverine. He's got the furry beard.
Got the height.
Moving on.
What? You look like Mary Poppins.
Is he cool?
Hell yeah, he's cool.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
The next movie to come out was in May, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, from James Gunn, the sequel. Rotten Tomatoes score 83%. Aggregated score 7.2 out of 10. This made $146 million opening weekend, finishing out its domestic run, $389 million, $863 million worldwide on a $200 million budget.
Oh.
This thing made all the monies.
A
lot of money, and you got Ego and Kurt Russell and the continuing adventures. All of this. This movie takes place in 2014, right after the first one. Anthony, what did you think about this? I remember.
I love this movie.
Right.
This was one of my favorite films of the year. One of my favorite MCU films. I loved all the jokes. I loved the twist with Ego being the guy that implanted the tumor in his in Peter Quill's mom's brain. I was thoroughly entertained by this movie. I walked out of it smiling, and as you can see by our review, I didn't have much negative to say about it.
Now I know someone who may have something negative to say about it. That's Rug Boy. No, Rugs.
Should we save Rugs for last then?
Okay, John, you go. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, your thoughts?
I loved it. It's definitely my favorite of the year, my favorite comic movie. And I'll tell you why real quick, because it had heart, action, adventure, and strong character arcs that had a purpose. But the story's not 100% original. It's a little Empire Strikes Back, but that's okay because we love these characters. And what I like about it, besides the production design of this film, because the whole time I'm just looking at the film, I think I probably missed half the story because I'm just looking at the screen at the colors the whole time.
It's a gorgeous movie.
Oh, it's beautiful to look at. And what I liked about it, it took me out of my world for 2 hours. It took me away from politics and bullshit and everything that you see on Facebook that's negative. And I was, this is great. I forget about my life for a minute. But the thing I wanted to point out is that a lot of these comic films try to emulate real movies. You know, like Spider-Man Homecoming was supposed to be a John Hughes film, and Dark Knight was supposed to emulate Heat a little bit. This movie was just like, just James Gunn's vision, you know, and that's what really stood out to me. It just reeked of him. And it just looked like Marvel was like, we don't know what to do with these guys. You just take these characters and you run with it. So
I mean, what they've done with these obscure characters is pretty amazing. Now, before I get to Rugs, I'm just going to go, like I said at the beginning, each of these movies had something to do. Like Logan, it needed to finish out Wolverine's arc and make it meaningful, and it really did. I think it succeeded high what it needed to do. This movie, though, had the least amount to do out of any of the movies. And so I watched this again, and I did enjoy it. And yes, I still think the Mary Poppins line is funny, but no, I think the Pac-Man shit was not as funny this second time around. But the second time I watched it, I was like, it's good, but it's a lot like the first movie. They didn't really show you anything new. The one thing saving this movie is Yondu and his whole story arc and the funeral at the end. That heart is there. So second time watching it, I was like, well, it's pretty good, but I feel like I've seen a lot of this before. I don't know, Rugs, break it down for us.
Well, I really is not a lot to break down. It's pretty simple for me. Like, I didn't go for this movie. I just didn't like the jokes. I didn't think any of them worked. Not any of them. That's being really way too far. But I'm gonna say like maybe 50% of them worked. All right, and the 50% that didn't work tanked moments that I really liked. So like they took the piss out of like a good moment. I don't like the guy who plays Star-Lord at all.
You don't like the Chris Pratt?
No, not. He just doesn't, to me, pull off this character. He just never did. He was written better in the first movie, almost, that worked towards his character, like the way he acts. And this version, I don't think it plays into it as much. Drax got taken down into being like a one-liner laughy guy that laughs at everything.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Like, I felt like a lot of the stuff was forced in the movie. In fact, the whole tumor in the brain thing, they never explained it, why he even did it. He just said, I put a tumor in your mom's brain because I felt like it. And so it's like, I couldn't go for anything in that movie. I just didn't like it. I came away from that movie thinking, I like the first one so much better. Well, and I don't know why people like it so much, and it made me hate it even more because people were liking it so much.
I'll answer the tumor thing. He says it right then. He goes, "If I knew if I came back to Earth, I would fall in love with her and never complete my mission.
That's
right. So I had to put a tumor in her brain."
Which is, it's a selfish reason to kill somebody.
It's he knew that he would be. I don't want to argue about the movie. I'm just saying that he does mention it right before he does.
I will say, I do think the first one is stronger after watching it.
Yeah, but I still don't think that's a. I don't think that's a good enough reason to put a tumor in someone's brain because I love her. I want to put a tumor in her brain. That just doesn't make any sense.
Just shows you how fucked up he is.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any. He's ego. He can do anything, but that's what he did. You know,
he's got an ego.
Yeah,
he's got an ego, but it is a gorgeous movie, and it is James Gunn's vision. I think that's partially why it succeeds. Is he's pretty much built these characters he's had them from scratch. And
my favorite part of the movie,
whatever he wants.
My favorite part of the movie is the sister rivalry.
Oh,
that's the only part of the movie to me that had any like weight to it. So and a little bit of the Yondu stuff.
I love the Yondu stuff. I thought that was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, that was a good arc.
Yeah.
I just you know what I'm saying? It's like I understand why people like it, but I just don't understand how can people like it so much. I can't get on board.
Taserface, that whole sequence is still pretty funny. When Rocket's like, well, we have the choice of scrotum hat, and then they just laugh at him for Taserface.
I felt like the first joke about it was good, and then they beat it like a dead horse.
They did it at the end again, where the gold lady laughs at him. And I mean, I like the video game fucking unmanned pilot. It is kind of unnecessary, and there's no stakes, but it's fun. I don't know. Fun movie.
Yeah.
Moving on to June.
What are you doing?
Oh, I thought maybe you'd want to get some sleep.
What about you? Are you not sleeping? Does the average man not sleep?
No, it's the second. Yes, we sleep. We just don't sleep with.
You don't sleep with women?
No, I mean I do sleep with. I sleep with. Yes, I do, but out of the confines of marriage, it's not polite to assume,
Marriage?
Do you not have that, Donna? Yeah. You go before a judge and you swear to love, honor, and cherish each other until death do you part.
And do they? Love each other till death?
Not very often, no.
Then why do they do it?
I have no idea.
So you cannot sleep with me unless I marry you.
I'll sleep with you if you want. I'll sleep right there.
There's plenty of room.
Then fine, if you don't mind, I'll go.
No, it's up to you. I'm just trying.
I know it's up to me. I'm making the choice. I'll come sleep with you.
Okay.
Wonder Woman from Warner Brothers. And finally, DC Films does what they've needed to do this whole time and make a good movie. Directed by Patty Jenkins. Rotten Tomatoes score 92%, 7.6 out of 10 aggregated score. This one had 103 million opening weekend, 412 million domestically when it ended at $821 million worldwide. Not billion. That's another movie. We'll get to that. At $149 budget, making Gal Gadot the highest grossing actress of 2017. Also, guys, this one, they had a lot riding on. Our first female-led heroine superhero movie directed by a woman. And boy, this movie had legs. She pretty much nails it.
Yeah, she has legs.
She got legs and she knows how to use them. I watched this again, and while I still enjoyed a lot of it, it does drag a little bit in the middle, and then the whole third act just fucking kind of ruins the thing. Because watching it again, the whole thing about is she crazy? Is Ares even real? Maybe there's no Ares. Like, that was really interesting. And then they just like
they throw it away.
They fucking throw all that away, and it gets really cartoony and over the top at the very end. But wow, what solid movie for DC Films. Anthony, what'd you think?
Yeah, this is the first solid DC film. I think this movie will mean the most out of all these culturally for a while.
Yeah,
I think it's the most important one. Whether you think that's hype or not, I think it's going to be remembered that way because it is Wonder Woman and the magnitude of that character and it being so successful and meaning so much in this time. I think it'll last for a while. Overall, solid movie. Really, really entertained. I loved Gal Gadot in it. I liked Chris Pine. I liked the whole cast. I would argue that the third act almost derails the entire fucking film. Because if you think about it, it really makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, the movie there was so much heart in Gal Gadot and just the amount of hype and the fact that it was successful and that DC was on a bad streak and Wonder Woman is basically the one that saves the day. I think overrode any bad feelings you could have about that third act, in my opinion. So overall, I really enjoyed this film, and I was really happy to see that this particular film did well and that a lot of people liked it.
Bellotti, did DC Warner Brothers finally make a good movie?
Yeah, they made a good movie. I mean, I'm kind of on the same level of criticism or opinion as Tony, but I didn't like the directing. I thought Patty Jenkins, I mean, you could see the cobwebs she had to shake off because she has really directed a lot. And the editing was kind of choppy and the story was a little Captain America First Avenger, but yeah, the characters or the acting was really good. My favorite scene is when she's on the boat with Chris Pine and they have that little, that ad-lib scene.
Yeah.
That's like that. I always think about that scene because it was just so natural, so
about
good.
The sex books.
Yeah, when she was saying like you could sleep next to me or something like that.
Right,
That scene was great. But yeah, I can't stand hype for a lot of stuff, and I thought it was a little too overhyped, this movie, because it's like it's almost like your kid, it's when you have a newborn and it's like keeps throwing up on himself, and all of a sudden he takes his first steps and says his first word, and it's like, oh my God, he said his first word. This is
He's the smartest baby ever.
Yeah, the smartest baby ever. He's gonna be the next Bill Gates.
They overpraise.
Yeah, they overpraise, and I think there was a little too much of the Hollywood PC police coming in saying like they were kind of overhyping Patty Jenkins a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, she's a female director. I got nothing against female directors, but she's not the best female director. Like Catherine Bigelow has been kicking ass for God since Point Break. It's one of my favorite stupid movies. But she's been like kicking ass, and it's like, why didn't she? I mean, she's not going to do a superhero movie. But they were just sort of like, oh, it's a woman did it. A woman did it. You should go see it because a woman did it. But
there was that feel of, if you don't like this, you don't like women.
You kind of had to like it.
You gotta like this.
But she also, she's now like made the most money any woman director has made.
Yeah,
Bugs, is this a win for feminism or was it overhyped?
I'm on the thing of watching movies all my life and seeing all of these female directors and Karen Kusama did Aeon Flux, but that completely shit the bed.
Lexi
it was a decent movie.
Punisher Warzone.
Of course, Lexi Alexander did Punisher Warzone. Just female directors all over. Catherine Bigelow. There's so many, that have done big, like Strange Days and all these great movies. And
Penny Marshall directed some of the hugest comedies we have.
Yeah. So I mean, and female action stars have been around forever. Female heroines have been around forever. So it's like the superhero genre. That's because they didn't have the balls to do it. Pony up the money to make effects and stuff. But at the end of the day, they needed to do this. They needed to do it in a big way because it needs to send a signal out to people saying, "Hey, we need to make these movies now. Like, what are we? These female heroes are important too. Let's make movies about them." I mean, they made a Catwoman movie with Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And first of all, they had a star right there.
Yeah.
A fucking big box office draw, and they fucking screwed it up. So it's not like they didn't have the intent to do it before. They just done it poorly.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that they actually tried to do it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that gets congratulatory, I guess. Was it a great movie? It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It was good, and I love Gal Gadot. Did I say that right?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, actually, is supposed to say.
I think it is Gadot.
So, she was great. Everybody in the movie was great. It's got obvious problems, with the third act, and some of that middle is a pain in the ass to get through. It's not as interesting as it should be.
Right.
Themyscira kind of. I love the stuff on Themyscira. I love
the beginning of it.
I wish that they would have done some of that stuff better with the gods and stuff. That way, Ares would be even more threatening.
Mm.
Because he's kind of like this looming presence, but like you really don't know really anything about the gods
a silly
or what
mustache.
the gods can do.
Yeah.
So that needed to be built up a little bit more. But I like this movie. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah.
And, it's got moments. It's got good moments.
I think the good outweighs the bad. And like you said, what this movie had to do was just be good for
it's
Warner
not
Brothers.
the greatest movie. Like, people are trying to hype it up like it's the greatest movie. It's the greatest female action movie. It's not any of those things.
All the Oscar stuff needs to just go away or whatever. Whenever we started talking about that.
So, you know what's funny about that? I saw this article in the Hollywood Reporter, and they were doing their Oscar predictions. And the guy had like front runners and then threats to the front runners and long shots. And the only superhero movie up at the top there was Wonder Woman.
Which one? As a what?
As a threat for Best Picture.
Oh my God!
And either a long shot or
is.
threat for Patty Jenkins, and also a long shot or threat for Gal Gadot. I think that was a long shot. So those three are in this guy's predictions for this year's Oscar nomination.
Years and years of great comic book films come out,
and none
of them are considered.
Yeah.
This one is politically motivated. Obviously, Hollywood's politically motivated, and that's fine. But you just gotta call it what it is.
I mean, Dark Knight should have got something before any of this. Just like Denzel Washington should have won for fucking Malcolm X and not shitty Training Day. Not that he was bad in there, but fucking Malcolm X. That is an Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah, but Hollywood's notorious for doing that. They always do that. They snub Scorsese, De Niro, and then they'll give it to them at like a shittier movie or a shittier role or something, just to be like, oh, sorry. Like Training Day.
Yeah.
Remember they did that for Training Day?
Dude, if this thing sneaks into the 10 nominations for Best Picture, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But people are putting it up there, so we'll see. But the movie did what it had to do, is give us a good female superhero movie and just be good, and it was. Moving on.
Does she know?
Know what?
So she does it. Good. Close to the vest. I admire that. I've got a few secrets of my own. Of all the reasons I didn't want my daughter to date Peter, nothing is more important than family. You saved my daughter's life, and I could never forget something like that, so I'm going to give you one chance. Are you ready? You walk through those doors, you forget any of this happened, and don't you ever interfere with my business again. Because if you do, I'll kill you and everybody you love. I'll kill you dead. That's what I'll do to protect my family, Pete. You understand? Hey, I just saved your life. Now what do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In July, we get one of my Geek Boner movies in Spider-Man Homecoming. The first solo movie for Spider-Man after the Sony Marvel deal. Directed by John Watts. Rotten Tomatoes score 92%, 7.7 out of 10 aggregated score. Opening weekend, 117 million. Finishes domestically at 334 million. 880 million worldwide, which is topping the worldwide of Wonder Woman and Guardians on $175 million
I did not know that it
budget.
Topped everything.
Yeah. It is this movie worldwide has grossed the most out of the six.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yes, the highest domestic grossing out of the six is Wonder Woman. Highest worldwide is Spider-Man. It played big overseas.
That is the biggest name.
Yeah, I mean, this is the return of the iconic Spider-Man, and I watched this again recently.
Return from like 3 years ago?
From 3 years ago. So that's why this movie was important, because we were going to find out if there's fatigue, if audiences would take a third reboot in like 15 years.
They took it up the ass.
This movie, all it had to do was a soft intro back into the MCU of this young Spider-Man, and now, like a lot of movies these days, it's not my Spider-Man, but I still, watching it again, I really enjoyed this movie. Like Tom Holland nails this Peter Parker, and I kind of bought in more to this Peter Parker and this universe. And again, the moment in the car with Michael Keaton where he realizes he's Spider-Man. It's so fucking good. Like there may not be great action scenes throughout the movie. They're fun. They're pretty memorable. There's not one big one, but the characters are great. I thought the chemistry is great. Ruggs, what were your thoughts on this movie again?
I asking me now?
Yeah, I'm going to start with you. We're going backwards.
I hate this fucking movie with a passion. I mean, like Tom Holland's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine. But the whole entire movie it's just clearly like a revamping, a retooling, a reinvention of Spider-Man. You know, he doesn't have any of the classic foibles that Spider-Man has. The worry, the anxiety, all of that stuff that makes Peter Parker who he is not in there. He's got a lot of tech that's pretty much servicing the whole movie. And I don't know.
Tony Stark as a father figure instead of like looking at Uncle Ben.
There's no mention of Uncle Ben, really.
Well, so I kind of like that they didn't do the origin, but it still bothers me that scene where he's lifting up the stuff when it gets buried. That's like an iconic scene where in the comic book he's thinking about all his loved ones that like Aunt May and Mary Jane, and that gets him to do it. In this one, he hears Tony Stark's voice going, "If you're nothing with the suit, then you shouldn't have the suit." And then he lifts the fucking thing.
It's just, to me, it was misguided. And I know people love this movie. I don't like it. I just can't. Of course, there's things to enjoy in the movie. Like, you can enjoy the movie for its jokes, which some of them are okay. Some of them are not so good. The action sequences are kind of, nothing to write home about. But, it's just all about Tom Holland. That's really what's good. I mean, would Spider-Man videotape his whole trip down to do a secret mission and put it in a vlog? I don't know.
I mean, look, if it was the Spider-Man nowadays, look, I actually
I don't know.
I had a lot of fun with this movie the second time watching it. Anthony, this is kind of closer to your generation Spider-Man. Did it achieve like setting that for you?
For different reasons.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was okay.
Okay.
Slightly disappointing for me. I still find it to be an entertaining film. I could still watch it and laugh and have a good time with it. Unlike maybe Rug Boy, and we'll see what Bellotti says, it's for me, maybe it wasn't so much that this wasn't my Spider-Man, the Spider-Man that I knew. It was more the fact that I just didn't feel like this Spider-Man had any weight to him. I really feel like the Uncle Ben stuff, although it's repetitive, I feel like there should have been some way. Should have been some way to at least reference that and give his character weight. Otherwise, he's just having fun, and that's not what Spider-Man is, really.
Oh, he's having a lot of fun in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he can have fun, but I don't know. It shouldn't be Tony that he's thinking of, as you mentioned.
Right,
it should be,
right.
There should be some sort of reference to that moment that's made him who he is today. So I just felt like this movie, it just felt very safe, very cookie cutter, very, this is the new Spider-Man, but we're not really going all the way with him being Spider-Man or a new version. We're playing it in the middle. So I just felt like a movie that was in the middle. The action scenes aren't great. I like Tom Holland. I liked Tony Stark in it, but overall I was just slightly disappointed. This was like the first Marvel movie for me where I was like, came out of it, I was like, man, I'm kind of disappointed walking out of this one. But again, I still think it's a good film. It wasn't to my expectation of what Marvel's been doing, and the fact that this was so hyped that he's back in the family, and that's what I thought about.
I mean, that's interesting. Bellotti, do you think? Look, like what this movie had to do is simply just drop this Peter Parker in the MCU. It's like a soft beta launch, and I think they kind of
soft beta launch is a good way to describe it.
So they're giving us a base to start with, but do you think they succeeded in doing what the movie needed to do?
No, because they gave it to us in Civil War, and he was awesome in Civil War, and I expected more of that, and then I got sort of like everything
he was
just
the
sort
same?
No, there was something missing. It was just I didn't like seeing him in DC. I didn't like seeing him in that warehouse. The best scenes were the beginning when he's in Queens and he looks like Spider-Man.
Yeah, where he's like bouncing around and learning his powers and looking for stuff to do.
It just this is because my review is going to be the same as Rug Boy's and Tony's, mostly because Spider-Man is like my favorite character, like my favorite comic book character, and I just sort of had to let go of the character. I'm like, this isn't my generation Spider-Man. This isn't mine. And
no, it's a lot like the Star Wars. This is not our Star Wars anymore. They got to move it forward.
Yeah, but the funny thing
is,
it's
not better. Give me something better.
Right.
You're gonna replace it with something better.
Yeah. What's funny?
It's not better.
What's funny? When we were talking about me coming on the show again, I said, "Oh, cool! Like I'll do my top 5 list." And on my list, I had Blade of the Immortal, I had Atomic Blonde,
You
and
had
then you
movies
were like,
that we weren't even ranking.
Exactly. And then you said, "No, we have to do like the main Marvel, DC, whatever movies." I'm like, "Oh shit, really?" So then I went and looked in the list, and then you were like, "Oh, we're doing 6." I'm like, 6? I only have 5. I'm like, "What am I going to add?" And I said, "Oh, I guess I put Spider-Man: Homecoming as the last one." It was really like I left the theater and I forgot I even saw the fucking movie. I was like, "What was that? What did I just see?" And then I just put it on my brain, and I actually forgot it came out this year. Like that's how much I didn't care about this film.
Last year, that was X-Men Apocalypse. That was our comment for last year's.
Oh yeah.
We were like, we forgot this fucking movie came out.
I feel like that movie came out 10 years ago.
That came out just last year in 2016. It was part of our last year's trip. This is going to be a new tradition. Like I get what you guys are saying, and as the listener, you guys know I love the. I'm just happy there's a Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite character, so it automatically gets brownie points, even though it's not the best thing, but it's a start. We're going to get 4 more movies out of his contract.
I'll say it is nice, though, that he will be able to interact with the other characters.
This deal, unprecedented deal, getting this character back in a partnership with Sony and Marvel, and then they go and they buy the Fox. So, like, it shows that they know how to handle the characters. Yes.
All right. Apart from me being in your ear saying this movie sucks and Bellotti saying it, have you heard anybody else come down on this movie? Not really.
No.
My friends love this movie.
I will say no.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where the general public is just happy with shit sandwiches. So,
he's a likable Peter with no baggage, and people can relate to that, I guess. But it's a different Spider-Man. That's all. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you can like it.
I liked it. I liked it the second time.
I like it.
I kind of like it. Time. Yes, I kind of
like it.
Okay, moving on. We got 2 more left. Then we got a big gap of months, and then in November.
I really wish I had my hammer.
Hammer?
Quite unique. It was made from this special metal from the heart of a dying star. And when I spun it really, really fast, it gave me the ability to fly.
You rode a hammer?
No, I didn't ride the hammer.
The hammer rode you on your back?
No. I used to spin it really fast, and it would pull me off the...
Oh, my God. The hammer pulled you off?
The ground. It would pull me off the ground up into the air, and I would fly. Every time I threw it, it would always come back to me.
Sounds like you had a pretty special and intimate relationship with this hammer, and that losing it was almost comparable to losing a loved one.
It's a nice way of putting it.
Thor Ragnarok from Marvel Studios finally comes out, directed by Taika Waititi. Rotten Tomatoes, 92%, 7.5 out of 10 aggregated score. This one had $122 million opening weekend. It's made $311 million domestically, $848 million globally. It's still in theaters, so there's an asterisk on those numbers off a $180 million budget. I think it's still out, so it may finish a little bit higher.
Finishing up, yeah.
Soon here, along with the next movie that's still out, but... Here, what did this movie have to do, guys? It just had to give us a fucking good Thor movie because the first 2 have been okay. What do you do with Thor? When we found out Taika Waititi was directing it and watching it the first time, I think we were all just surprised. Like, wow, there's a lot of slapstick comedy in here.
There was a lot to digest watching it that first time.
But you know what? I don't know. Thinking about it again, It did give us something fresh. It gave me something I wasn't expecting, and you get the amazing Thor and Hulk together battle scene. It did a lot of good things, but it also, the comedy undermined all of the dramatic moments. So I'm really torn. Bellotti, let's start with you.
Sure. Well, this is definitely a very divisive film, but for my list, it's very high on my list, and I'll tell you why. The colors, again, the production design floored me. I'm a sucker for
Jack
it, obviously.
Kirby all over the place.
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I know nobody has probably read any Walt Simonson Jack Kirby comic, and I'm guilty of that too for the most part. But I have the Simonson stuff, and he even mentioned Frog Thor, and that's like my favorite like Thor.
Right? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Just the psychedelic look of it. I thought it was the most comfortable that Chris Hemsworth looked and performed as Thor. I probably would have taken out most of the jokes, especially by the end, because I mean, you have like a giant fire creature destroying your homeworld, and they're sort of playing it jokey. And
and the rock guy's making a joke.
Yeah, it's just like they're on the ship and they're sort of like, oh my God, Asgard's dead. And then Korg has to like make a joke and just sort of undermine it. You know, if it just got a little bit more serious at the end, it probably would have been my favorite movie. But it's just, I read a lot. Okay, I read a lot of the interviews why they went this route.
Right.
And they kind of needed to. For
right.
The
what else are you going to do with Thor?
Right. And Chris Hemsworth was going to walk away. I mean, he was like, he went to Kevin Feige and was like, I don't know what else to do with this character. My hands are tied. He's like, we got to reboot it. And I appreciate it and I get it because Thor was kind of sucking at this point.
Yeah.
But
surprising comedic chops on the Hemsworth also. So
he's always kind of had that. That's the thing. And I think he wanted to be let off. Yeah, he wanted to be let off the leash. I just think he was let off the leash a little too much.
We shared that article before the movie came out that they had a screening and decided to add 30 minutes of jokes after the initial screening because they thought people loved it. Ruggs.
That might have been a little too much.
Do you think this was a mistake to add those 30 minutes of jokes?
I mean, like, the way I feel about Thor Ragnarok is that I think the jokes were actually better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that way too, actually.
The Guardians of the Galaxy jokes were not good. And they wore them out so much. A lot of the jokes were the same joke over and over again.
Yeah,
so Thor Ragnarok had more like different kind of jokes, which I still don't think this much humor should be in any Marvel movie. I think it should be clipped back like 40%. You know, it's like still too much overkill on the jokes. But look, this is what I'll say about Thor Ragnarok, is that they tried to make two Thor movies like earnestly.
Right.
And it didn't really work out for them. So they're trying something else.
Yeah.
And this seemed to have worked with the public.
Absolutely.
It didn't really work for me that much. I didn't like that they pretty much tore down everything that Thor was, and then they killed off all this cast, and they destroyed Asgard, and like no one gave a fuck. In the movie, it didn't have any weight to it.
Right. No, and Odin dies, and all this shit. His hammer is fucking smashed.
I think when you have something like that people have grown accustomed to seeing, you got to actually do right by those characters, and you're not doing it. So I have problems with Thor Ragnarok, but I did enjoy the humor in it more than Guardians of the Galaxy. I enjoyed just the buddy movie aspect more than Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm going to put that higher on my list.
So this movie, 80% improvised. And Anthony, I believe you have the opposite view of the humor between Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy.
I do. I would say, first off, I did find the film entertaining. Like, I don't think it's a bad film.
It's very entertaining. It's a good ride.
Yeah. I really respect that Marvel was like, okay, these two films, which I kind of liked, both Thor films, but these two films obviously didn't work for them. So they tried something different. So that I like that Marvel's showing they're willing to try new things. Yeah. And this film was definitely just Taika Waititi through and through. So I think that bodes well for the future of Marvel, and that they're letting their directors just have full reign and kind of just make the film they want to make.
He almost resets. It's like a Thor 1.
Right. So I like that. I think those things are good for working with Marvel.
But do you want to see 3 more Thor movies now that you've seen it already 3?
Do I? I'm not saying about Thor. I'm just saying in general with Marvel films. But overall, for this film, just wasn't my flavor. I just didn't really enjoy the slapstick comedy. It just wasn't for me. I wouldn't come out of this like, wow, I want to see 3 more of this. I disagree. I think Guardians had really good humor. I think this film was almost just too slapsticky for me and not the direction I want to see future Marvel films. But I realized that a lot of people liked it, and it worked for Marvel, and it made a shit ton of money. So obviously they hit the right note with a lot of people. So
I mean, the more I thought about it, I thought the humor in Thor was a little bit more fresh, a little bit more clever, not as staid as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Initially, I remember when I said this is like if the BBC made like a Thor movie.
Yeah.
This is what you get. So I was like,
I'll
that's
tell you what
kind
the
of
reasoning
interesting.
is. This is the psychology behind it is when you go to see a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, you want to laugh.
Right.
So the humor is welcome there.
Yes.
But when you go to see a Thor movie, you're gonna expect a little bit of humor, but not like that. So it was off-putting to people. So it felt more out of place.
Absolutely.
There's the conundrum.
That and I read an article too where Taika Waititi, obviously you brought up like the BBC, he was bringing more of a Australian, New Zealand kind of
Kiwi humor.
Yeah, that kind of humor, which is a little different than what Americans are used to. There's one where specifically he was like, in America they say something and then someone interjects with a line that's the joke. Whereas this, like for instance, the scene with Korg and Thor where they're discussing the weapons, it was just a long drawn out discussion about the weapons and absurd shit. They was just they kept talking more absurd, like, oh, the hammer jacked you off. Oh, okay, like it's like they're just throwing absurd line after absurd line. Like they don't linger on, okay, this is the cutscene for the joke. It's a different style of humor. So for me, that's probably a little jarring as well, as I'm just not used to that.
It's like a Monty Python presents Thor Ragnarok. But so I thought that was different. So I kind of appreciated that was different. But
I do want to add that with the joke stuff, I think it was funny. I will agree with you guys there. Like it was just the jokes were a lot funnier than Guardians, but you kind of expect more Shakespeare with Thor. You know, you kind of don't expect that Kiwi humor. And the other thing I wanted to add that I forgot to mention was that was probably like my favorite Hulk movie within another movie. Like I
amazing.
love the Hulk in that movie.
Yes, Ruffalo as Banner and the Hulk, and the first time we see the Hulk talking sentences, it's a progression of his character. Fantastic, like great appearance by the Hulk, great buddy kind of feel. Now I think all you guys are right. All this movie needed is like the jokes would have been way more funnier had they just taken it back and put in some dramatic beats in between to balance it out. Less is more. The jokes hit harder instead of just it's all one level of jokes, and nothing means anything. But still very entertaining. Finally, let's move on to the last movie.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing. See, I'm afraid of bugs and guns and obnoxiously tall people and murder, and I can't be here. It's really cool. You guys seem ready to do battle and stuff, but full transparency, I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
Save one.
What?
Save one person.
Which one?
Don't talk, don't fight. Get in, get one out.
And then?
You'll know.
November also finally brought us a movie that we seem to have been talking about for like 15 months, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League, Warner Brothers, directed by Zack Snyder, asterisk at the end of that, because then the Joss Whedon had to come in and there's a whole thing. Rotten Tomato score, 40%. 5.3 out of 10 aggregated score. This thing couldn't break $100 million opening weekend, $93 million. So far, it's made $225 million domestically, 652. I don't think it's beat Man of Steel yet. Worldwide, it's still in theaters. Budget not available. Still, nobody knows how much money they fucking wasted making this movie. Boy, so out of all of these, like we said, like last year, there wasn't a complete train wreck. We were expecting this to be a train wreck, but they barely just squeaked by and just kind of made a castrated superhero entertaining movie. I don't even know how to describe what the end product is. Can anyone help me?
Failed attempt.
What is this?
It is Frankenstein.
It's a Frankenstein movie. But I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Bellotti, what did you think coming out of this movie? What happened here?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know I don't know, man. I didn't hate it as much as I hated Batman vs Superman, because maybe that movie just angered me so much that I had no expectation for this. And then there was so much more interesting behind the scenes stuff going on for this movie.
Overshadows the whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard not to notice a lot of that. I liked the Superman that we got in it. It was like, wow, it took you three movies to get him right. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. It was just sort of like, there it is. It's a movie. It happened. Yay. You know, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I don't. It's just,
I know. Rug Boy, were you entertained at all by this movie? I think it's kind of a fun, entertaining movie.
I found it to be somewhat entertaining. I mean, there were moments like the stuff on Themyscira was very well done. That whole football past the football type thing.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah.
I did like a few scenes here and there, but I mean, it just like just watching the trailer to Infinity War,
yes,
where you see this city and this great landscape and all of this stuff. You know, there's none of that in Justice League. There's just these nondescript areas, and they're always like in the middle of like some kind of where no one can get hurt, and the people that do get hurt are not even shown. That one like Russian family in this like fucking
for no reason. Yeah,
it's just like it was just very weird. Like it doesn't place you in a world. It just you don't know where the fuck you are. It's just like these nondescript places we're in somewhere where it's cold for Aquaman.
Yes.
Or somewhere like it doesn't like build like it any kind of. I feel like I know where I am here. It's kind of like a mess of a movie. Was I entertained? Yes, I was entertained. Did I? The Superman facial CGI mustache removal. It ruined the movie for me, so much that I couldn't really think about anything else after I came out of that movie.
God, I almost forgot about that. There's so many things on top of things that keep this movie from being so much better. Anthony, what did this movie have to do, and did it do it?
They had to release a film, so they did that.
Yes, they did that technically.
They had a release date that they had to make.
Their contract, and that they would not push back, otherwise bonuses weren't going to get paid out, and the stock was going to be all fucked up.
That's what they had to do. Like a lot of you guys, I didn't hate this film. I actually found some parts of it entertaining. Overall, I walked out of it like that was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But it didn't piss me off. At least it like was the safe mess. Yes. But then thinking back on it, I'm just like, I feel really not, I don't know if I should say sad, but I just feel disappointed that this, like all these years, people have been waiting for a live action Justice League film, and you just get such a vanilla film that it's no one's going to remember it. If anything, they're going to remember the production and why it came that film.
Remember that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yes, with Sean Connery, which is like a horrible movie. It was just a
debacle of a film.
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Justice League.
Well, that's that's sad. Like you said, the sad thing is
the most iconic characters that DC has.
Characters deserve a better movie,
Batman,
and
Superman, Wonder. Like this is. Some would say some could argue that these characters are even more iconic than the Avengers.
Oh, absolutely. But we were robbed of a good movie for these characters.
That's my overall thought.
This movie is like sad. A crime scene.
Yeah, it's just disappointing.
We're looking at the outline of the body.
It's
a big letdown.
I don't think it's a steaming pile of shit.
No, it's not. That's the thing.
I think it's definitely a letdown.
Well, who just said the Avengers, the Infinity War trailer? Because when it was you. I was thinking the same thing, and when I saw that trailer, I said, "That's what Justice League should have been." Like, why am I getting goosebumps for Captain America running in Africa when I should have been feeling this way for Justice League?
Because we've been waiting 10 years for this, and DC's doing it ass backwards.
Well, that's a good point that Rug Boy brought up too. Is that the locations you don't ever feel like you're in a real place. Yeah. And that might be inherently because DC's locations aren't in real places, but then they mix in like real cities, so I don't know. They never tell you where you are.
But you always felt like the Gotham in the Batman movies was a real Gotham. You could describe that Gotham to me. Like, like what is Gotham like? Oh, it's kind of like Chicago-ish.
But Metropolis was Chicago in Justice League this time also.
See, I couldn't even tell you what Metropolis was.
Plus, I have an issue with all the green screen he uses and the sets. His sets, they just look like sets sometimes. They don't look.
They look
real.
like shit.
They look like shitty sets.
I heard a lot of people on the internet. Because we've already reviewed this, so I don't need to go into this too much.
No, we don't.
But the scene where Aquaman is riding the fucking parademon like a surfboard through a building. Like I heard a lot of people out there like, that's so cool. Watch that fucking scene. It is terrible. That looks so bad.
Oh yeah, my man.
I mean, it's terrible. It looks like a video game.
I like this Aquaman, and I'm kind of looking forward to the Aquaman movie now after seeing
the only good scene with Aquaman is when he's talking shit because he's sitting on the lasso.
Because he's sitting on the lasso, yeah.
Yeah, that was like my favorite part of the movie.
That was actually the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
That was the good Joss Whedon fucking team hanging out shit added to some Zack Snyder setup or something.
Yeah, when he's like, I don't want to die. I got a life to live. Like it was actually pretty good.
He's like, this guy has no powers. This guy wouldn't even know. This guy might be working gorgeous. For the enemy. Yeah, you're gorgeous. That was really funny.
So, again, not a complete train wreck. And finally, at the end of the movie, they kind of got the characters to a point where you wanted them at the beginning, specifically Superman, minus the fucked up floating lip that just ruins the whole movie. Okay, that's the 6. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, I want to check in one last time to the Star Wars Last Jedi box office, because in 20 days of release, this movie has made $544 million domestically. Worldwide, you ready for this? $1.1 million and change. Billion. I keep fucking up the millions and the billions. It's broke $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Billion with a B. They're fucking printing money. Jesus. So
that's why they bought Lucasfilm. They didn't buy it because they liked Star Wars.
And this, that I think that brings it second on just under Force Awakens in terms of gross. So it's not catching the Force Awakens gross, which is 936.
No,
just domestically. But Star Wars making $1 billion. That means it's winter in America. We'll take a quick break, play some promos. We'll be right back with our ranking. Where did these rank? You're going to want to stick around to find out.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Do you like movies?
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Mr. Anderson.
Life, finds a way.
TV?
A girl has no name.
Soft kitty, warm kitty.
You didn't think I'd just disappear, did you?
Music?
Hello, all my friends are heathens, take it slow. Girl, run the world, girl.
Video games?
It's me, Mario.
Get over here!
Hey, listen.
If you love geeking out about your pop culture passions, See Here's the Thing may be the podcast for you. Join me and my co-host Patrick as we dive into a weekly digest of news clips about movies, TV, video games, theater, and more. Special guests, improv games, and terrible celebrity impersonations abound in our weekly episodes published directly on Podomatic. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Google Play. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google+, and Pinterest. See Here's the Thing. It's where humor and pop culture collide.
You know, I mean, usually whenever people start talking about doing a, remake of Lord
I mean,
of the
look,
Rings,
here's the
like,
point
now
that I'm
there's
trying to
TV
make
show
here,
coming out.
okay?
You know,
Barb
This is what I don't understand. I mean, how could they have made a movie this bad?
I know
Who
everyone's like,
greenlit this? Who
hyping
said
out there and
that this was
everything,
okay?
absurd.
Look at the adaptations that came before. Yes, there have been many, but I'm talking Wars.
Come get belligerent on Popcorn Prattle Film Talk Podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podbean. You'll be glad you did.
Jock and Nerd.
Thanks for listening to this stupid fucking Jock and Nerd podcast. But listener,
I don't know why you listen.
I don't know. We don't know why, but we're glad that you do. And if you've been enjoying the show and you want more show, you want to hear more of our shenanigans, there's a place you can get that. It's at our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. You support the show financially. There's a bunch of tiers. You get rewards. But for as little as $1 a month, you get access to an exclusive RSS feed with bonus content just for our patrons. Our most recent post-show audio that went up last week's episode, Anthony opens up about growing old and how it's affecting his game, with the chicks and how it's problematic. And he's the big dirty 30.
It's bad.
And the girls have stayed the same age, except you've gotten older.
Gotten older, the girls are the same age.
It was a very heartfelt confessional audio.
Yeah, it was like therapy.
Yes, it was. And
I feel a lot better.
I'm glad.
Talking about my
you needed to get that off.
career.
Your semen is getting old, Anthony. Your biological clock is ticking. But this is first show of the new month. I want to thank all of our patrons by name. But here's the thing, fellas. I'm not doing this by myself. You guys are going to help me, and I'm not asking. We're going to do this round robin, all right?
Okay.
Here's my only instruction. Put some stank on it. Whatever that means.
What are we saying?
We're going to say everybody's name in order according to this list. So everybody pull up your show notes.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see how.
Who starts? You?
I'm going to start. Then Anthony.
I wasn't paying attention at all.
Motherfucker.
I'll go after Anthony.
Bro, do you even podcast?
Right. Okay. Me, Anthony, Rugboy, John. Got it?
All right.
Okay. Got it.
Put some steak on it. Let's see how fast we can get through. Thank you to all of our patrons like John Magat,
Lisa Morrison,
Bonner Demling,
Travis Holton,
John Seifert,
Gabriel Bosco,
Anthony Apotica,
Jimmy Graben,
Joe Henry,
David Zika virus,
Jimmy McPike,
Wes Cranford,
Matthew Lawrence, whoa,
Ron Hans,
Adam Morris,
Blazing Caribou Studios,
Stephen Tran,
Joe from work,
Steve Morrison.
Oh man, my favorite ginger, Matt Delhauer.
A place to hang your cape and
Philip Milan, Italy.
And that's your buddy, isn't it?
Philip McCracken.
That is my friend.
Fill up my ass. Thank you to like that. What a wonderful list. You want to join that list? You want to hear your name butchered by us every so often?
And get made fun of.
That's how we take care of our listeners. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, time for the rankings. We went over the 6 movies we reviewed. We're going to go one at a time, rank them from 6 to 1. Here's the order. It's going to be Bellotti, Rugboy, Anthony, and then myself. Starting at number 6, Bellotti, what do you have?
Justice League.
Okay, I'm going to write these down just to... I think a lot of the top and bottom of our list will be the same.
Pretty much.
And I feel the middle will be interesting. Justice League, do you want to add any comment to that? I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, it happened. That's all I can say.
It's a movie that happened. Rugboy, number 6 for you.
It's also Justice League.
I thought so. Comment or no?
Sucked.
Anthony?
Justice League.
Surprise, surprise. And for myself, guess what? It is also Justice League being that.
Actually, let me change mine.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Homecoming.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, put that at the bottom.
That is an upset.
Oh, shit.
Okay, you're going to go Spider-Man Homecoming at the bottom, you motherfucker. Okay.
Woo.
Bless you. Who was that? Bellotti?
That was me.
Anthony.
Oh, that was Anthony.
Yeah.
That's that herpes. Don't spread it around.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, don't spread it around. Okay.
New year, new form, new strain of herpes.
Yeah, every year. That shit adapts. The herpes simplex.
Medicine isn't working.
Oh, damn.
The cure.
Alcohol. You should just drink some alcohol and that'll kill that shit.
Is that how that works?
Make the herpes go away. It'll make it run like the wind.
Booze it up, Anthony. That's how you get rid of that sneeze. Okay, so we had Ruggs with the one Spider-Man Homecoming at 6.
Yeah,
everyone else with Justice League.
You know what?
Interesting.
Because Spider-Man, I thought about it. I'm like, Spider-Man pissed me off more. Like, I went into Justice League thinking it was going to suck, and it did. But I went into Spider-Man Homecoming like going, I don't know what I'm going to get. And then I got out of that movie, and I was like so fucking pissed off that it bothered me for days.
Okay, fair enough. Wow. Okay. All right. So, John, back to you. Number 5.
You know.
Wait. I said it. Never mind.
Huh?
No, I thought we skipped me, but then I realized
you said
we're on the next number.
Yes.
Oh. You know,
shows how much I'm paying attention.
Try to keep up, Anthony.
Not at all. He's thinking of you know what.
Yeah.
You know who in the back of a you know what.
Number 5, Bellotti.
Yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming. But Rug Boy kind of makes me want to put it at number 6, but I can't.
Stay strong.
Yes.
No, I'm staying. No, because I was pissed off too. I was like, this isn't Spider-Man. This is like hipster Spider-Man. But anyway, yeah, that's my number 5 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
It is hipster Spider-Man.
It sucked. Both of these movies sucked. But yeah.
Rug Boy, number 5.
Oh, that's Justice League's going to move on.
Okay, so you got JL at number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. Anthony, number 5 for you.
This is a tough one for me.
Yeah, that's got hard.
I'm going to go with Spider-Man Homecoming, though, as well.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm not changing mine. I'm sticking to my thing. It's gonna throw everything off. Number 5 for me is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Wow.
All right.
Because it was just it wasn't nothing really new. It's kind of the same shit as the first one. Out of all the movies that
nothing new, you son
had
of a bitch.
something to do, important things. This one was just this one had it was the least riskiest fucking movie out of all of them. Let's move on to number 4. Bellotti, what do you got?
You guys are gonna laugh at this one, but I put Logan at number 4.
What the fuck?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You're high, dude.
The reason why it's number 4 is because when I left the theater, I didn't know how I felt about it. I was shocked in a way because it was the end and he dies, but I wasn't blown away by it. And it was just too much of a downer, I guess, for me compared to the other films. And that's why it's number 4 on my list.
Okay, fair enough. Rug Boy, number 4 for you.
Number 4 is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we know why.
Yeah. It's just an movie.
Anthony, number 4.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Not my flavor.
That, you know what's funny? That's where I have Thor also. At number 4. Because while it was entertaining, I had to put it above Guardians of the Galaxy because it was trying something fresh. But, yeah, too much humor. Huh, interesting. Okay, Bellotti, number 3 on your list.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, you got WW at number 3. Okay.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, you right at the Wonder Woman.
Oh, no, what the hell happened there?
Wow, that got racist quickly. I'm leaving
I'm
that
Asian.
in.
I can do this. It's okay.
I love Chinese people. I'm not racist. I eat Chinese food like once a week.
Anthony, quickly give John a pass so I can leave that audio in.
I just said it's okay.
Okay, I'm leaving it in.
I'm
'cause it's
representing
hilarious.
the whole continent
The
of
whole
Asia.
race of Asians.
Nice.
The whole race.
You guys also have a pass to do offensive Indian accents. It's okay with me. I'm
And
Pakistani.
Italians.
Yes,
New
and
York Italians.
Yes.
Feel free.
All right. I'm
Wonder
doing it.
Woman.
It's me, Mario.
Anthony,
Wonder Woman.
Anthony does a killer Filipino woman, by the way. Like,
I
very
do.
good. Very
We're
well.
not
I'm
doing it
sure
now.
he's done many killer Filipino women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rugs, what do you got at number 3?
Number 3 is going to be Thor Ragnarok.
Thor at number 3. Oh, Kalidokali. Interesting. Anthony, what's your number 3?
One more time. Wonder Woman.
Wonder
Woman.
My number 3 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh shit!
Because it's Spider-Man, and we have a new Spider-Man. And there's going to be more Spider-Man, and now they set the fucking foundation for the Spider-Man. I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. Number 2, Bellotti.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, you got 4 at number... Wait, okay, but this is... I'm just going to not touch that one. Rugs, number 2.
And that'll be Wonder Woman.
2, you got the Wonder Woman. Anthony, number 2.
This was a tough one for me, but I'm going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Holy shit, the highest showing for that movie on any of our list. At number 2, I have Wonder Woman at
Wait till you see
number
Bellotti's.
2. Because of all reasons discussed previously, Bellotti, number 1 most favorite superhero movie of 2017.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume number 2.
Damn! Oh yeah,
I was debating that.
Can I tell you why really quick?
Yeah, you should. For number 1, you should say why.
Number 1 and why? Yes.
You know, this year has been very hard for me and my wife. My now wife, my current wife.
Yeah.
My only wife that I've ever had and I love so much. Hey, baby. She's going to bed. Say hi. Bye. Anyway, the year started off with our apartment destroyed. Remember that? Remember how like we were going... So
the Guardians... You had flooded.
Yeah, we had a flood. So Guardians was like the first movie to come out, I believe, of the year, right? For the superhero movies?
No, Logan was in March. Guardians was in May.
Yeah, see, Logan was right smack in the middle of when we were going through all this shit.
Okay.
I think a lot of my opinions of these movies have to do with the way my year was going.
Sure.
Because Guardians was like, we moved back in. We had our wedding coming up. We had a lot of good things going on. I saw that. I laughed my ass off. It just like made me forget about everything that we had going on in our lives for 2 hours. So that's why I rank it so high in the list for me, because it's just where I was in my life. And that goes for like any movie you see at any time in your life. I mean,
absolutely.
You know, so
It all depends what age you are, the state of mind you're in, what's going. It reminds you of where you were in life.
My whole list, if it seems weird, it's because of my whole year that's been going on. Because I've only watched all of these movies once. I haven't watched them more than once.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So this list might change next year. I might be like, what the fuck was I thinking? But right now, that's why it's number one.
Number one. Okay, very interesting. Rug Boy, what's your number one and why?
Well, all that's left is Logan.
Well, everyone, this should be easy to figure out. Yes.
Logan, to me, was the most complete of a film. It had the most going for it as far as like filmmaking is concerned. I'm not talking about special effects. I'm not talking about action sequences. I'm talking about good acting, good camera work, good script, all of those things. It really, and it had like emotional weight to it. It resonated to me. It existed in a world that I could understand. So, and you know, it is a send off for Hugh Jackman, and it was a great one. So, I mean, is it my favorite movie of all time? No, but it's definitely a good movie. I would recommend it to people to see it.
Absolutely. Well, Anthony, I think it's obvious both of our number ones are the same movie.
Logan.
Why? What's your reasoning?
This was actually a tough one. I really enjoyed Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. I just think overall Logan is a better film, and it's just a little bit more. It's just different than what we had seen so far in the genre. So I think overall Logan number one. Great send off for Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, and that's my number one.
Absolutely, man. Same with me. Heartfelt, sad. John said it was a bummer, but it needed to be a bummer. This is a goodbye to a character we've known for like 17 years, and it was an appropriate goodbye. A Western superhero movie. We'd never gotten that. The fucking palette they chose was great. The seamless CGI. There's a lot more CGI in it than you think. A lot of face replacement. A lot of the stuff with Daphne Keane. A lot of times it's somebody else. They put her face on there, and even with Jackman, but you wouldn't know. And this, like, it gets to the heights of The Dark Knight almost for me, you know? It's that much of a masterpiece, like a near fucking perfect movie. And then leaving it with Daphne Keane.
It's definitely in the 90s. If you're going to rate it, give it a 100 rating, it's in the 90s, somewhere in the 90s.
Absolutely. And like watching it again, it's just as good. So good stuff. Honorable mentions in terms of other movies we reviewed this year. Shin Godzilla was this year. Remember that?
Oh, Shin Godzilla.
Bellotti was on that one. Year. Yeah. Was that last year? We reviewed it this year.
We reviewed it this year.
Yeah,
that was
in this calendar. It was last year. Kong Skull
Way to
Island.
fuck that one up.
Whatever. I was just going by calendar year of shit we reviewed. Kong Skull Island, War for Planet of the Apes, Aliens Covenant, and Star Wars The Last Jedi.
War for the Planet of the Apes, probably the best film I've seen all year.
You go from that to like the disappointing Aliens Covenant.
And didn't make a ton of money.
No, it didn't. But
now, the only movie that I didn't see on this list that you have that continues with Ghost in the Shell, Atomic Blonde, Valerian.
Yeah, so a lot of these movies I didn't see. Okay,
but I've seen everything else.
I wanted to talk about some of these,
and I even saw Blade of the Immortals.
I've seen none of those films.
Yeah, so other movies based on comic books that came out this year: Ghost in the Shell, Atomic Blonde, Valerian and the City of 1,000 whatever, The Kingsman, Lego Batman. I haven't seen any of these. John, what did you want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to say, I'm sure you know this, but Blade of the Immortal is my favorite comic book movie of the year.
I don't even know what that is. What is it?
It's basically the movie that Logan could have been if Logan started off that way. It's basically like the same kind of story, but it's based on a manga I've been reading since I was a teenager. So I know me and Ruggs talked about it a little bit. It's directed by Takashi Miike, who did 13 Assassins, Ichi the Killer. It's also his 100th film. So it's about an immortal samurai who has to basically protect this young girl who's paying him, but it reminds him of his sister, and he's got to kill all these. It just ends with fucking, 1 on 100 samurai.
Oh shit! That's based on a manga.
It's based on a manga, yeah. So for me, reading the manga and being obsessed with the artwork as a kid and seeing it on the big screen was like, this is probably the most accurate comic book movie I've ever seen. I think, period. I mean, maybe the first Spider-Man movie was pretty close, but yeah. So that's my number one. But Atomic Blonde, I will say, the story's a little hard to follow.
Yeah.
But the visuals in that movie, I'm telling you, as an artist, you're just going to watch the movie. You're not even going to pay attention to
the art direction is great.
On.
Also, I think Valerian had some nice visuals.
I didn't see that.
It wasn't too bad.
No.
I didn't see Kingsman either.
I haven't seen the Kingsman. I haven't seen any of those other movies.
I've seen everything but Kingsman. I think that the winner in this for movie-wise is Atomic Blonde. Blade of the Immortals probably right under that one. And Ghost in the Shell, even though it got a lot of flack, I think that it wasn't as terrible as people meant it to be.
I'll have to check it out.
I mean, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like just steaming pile of dog shit either. It was just, it did fail the comic. It did fail the actual story of Ghost in the Shell. And that, I can't really forgive it for that. But I mean, if you're going to watch it as a movie, it's a little boring, actually.
So before we look ahead to 2018 real quick, 2 questions I want to ask you guys before we wrap up 2017. Looking at these 6 movies, who do you think had the better year in terms of a Marvel or DC? Because you can kind of argue both ways. In fact, you could almost argue
it's overwhelmingly Marvel.
Yeah.
But
DC had one hit. It was the big hit of the year, but it also comes with political baggage. So if you took away that political baggage and the hype, I don't know if it would have fared as well as a movie.
Yeah.
So that has to be, you have to be honest about this stuff. You can't just blow. That's what we do at this podcast that other podcasts don't do, is that we fucking say shit like this. Let's be honest. There was not a political hype.
A lot of baggage, yeah.
There's a lot of baggage. So it made more money and it got more hype than it should have. So it is an important film, but I mean, it got blown out of proportion.
Well, let's also
with Oscar talk.
Not only that, but even though Imran repeatedly said on the show that they don't care if they don't make any money, they do. And Justice League is supposed to be their Avengers, and it made the least amount of money out of any of their DC films. So that already means Marvel wins.
I mean, if you just take all of the box office put together, it definitely kills.
Well, if you
Spider-Man's already killing what Wonder Woman made. So
then you throw in that they have Spider-Man back.
Yes,
it wasn't our favorite film, but it made a lot of money. They also just acquired Fox.
Yeah,
come on.
But I mean,
what are we debating here?
My one critique is Marvel gave us 2 space movies and 3 comedies. So I just feel like there wasn't the variety this year.
Yeah. DC had the film that's going to be remembered, and also a film that needed to be remembered and is now remembered for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, like a huge socially important thing. Even with all the hype and the hyperbole. And then
maybe DC won. Maybe DC won.
That's the thing is, I think by the time they got to Thor, just the comedy of it kind of was wearing down people because we've seen it.
I don't think you can justify saying they won when they lost money on Justice League.
I think financially, more of the Marvel films did better.
Yeah.
They're more highly regarded. I mean, even though I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy at all, people like that movie. So it's like people like those movies.
I mean, I think, but fan response, this is the first year that DC finally, got a lot of kudos that they've been looking for. I don't know how much that outweighs all the rest.
One more point on this debate.
Yeah.
You can't say DC won when after they released their tentpole film, they're now trying to figure out how the fucking franchise is going to move forward.
How do we reset all this? What do we make
they're thinking about resetting everything.
Look,
that's the thing. Yeah, they won the year. They didn't win the war. They won
the battle, not the war. And
I would argue they didn't win shit.
I just think that they got to the female-led superhero movie directed by a female.
They got there first.
Yeah. That's a big get.
They planted the hype flag there.
They won that big battle.
Even though there was other movies where, as I said, Aeon Flux by Karen Kusama is a movie that no one watched, no one gives a shit about, but it was the same exact pedigree.
Yeah, but these guys went out there with the noise and with the buzz and with the words, saying, "Look what we got." And I got little girls.
Wonder Woman.
We got little girls.
Wonder Woman. Around die.
Oh
shit!
If you would have told me in the year 2000 that they were making Aeon Flux movie or a Captain Universe movie or whatever or Captain Marvel, whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give a fuck about a Captain Marvel movie.
No,
I
nobody does.
I want to see Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a big deal at the time.
Interesting. The other question that I was pondering is this the beginning of the end of cinematic universes outside of Marvel? Is the bubble going to burst next year? When we get to what's coming out next year, there's 8. Well, there was 6 this year. There's 8 major ones. Now, think about like the Dark Universe that fucking died this year. Transformers 5th movie did not even make any money like the Transformers usually do. A lot of franchises seem to have gone down. Marvel still standing.
Well, I think a lot of these sequel, like formulaic movies that they're just kind of like pumping out, like people are tired of those now.
Yeah.
So they're getting taken to task. This is just not even just Transformers. This is like the 50 Shades of Grey did shitty, like all of these like sequels that no one cares about anymore that they're pumping out. They got to stop doing this shit.
Are we close to this bubble bursting? Do you guys feel it? Do you think so at all?
I actually do think not the bubble of like comic books, but the shared universe thing. I think is down. Like you can't just create shared universe just to create a shared universe. There has to be. I think the bubble is bubble is bursting, and they're going to start. Maybe not making better films, but they're going to start reevaluating that just to do a shared universe isn't going to work.
Maybe make original things instead.
I don't know if you'll get original things.
Bellotti, what do you think?
I think it's just going to be Marvel doing the cinematic universe. I think everyone else has tried and stumbled.
Well, the Godzilla stuff is coming out. That's shared universe as well.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point because that's quietly starting a shared universe. But they're only going to 3 movies, and then the rights go back to Toho. So I don't know what the end game is. They just want to get Kong and Godzilla on screen.
Well,
again.
it'll be a shared universe movie. It'll just be that.
No, it'll just be those movies, and then they might just take Kong after the Godzilla rights go back to Toho. They'll just give Kong more movies. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, that's a good point.
They should just start inventing their own kaiju at that point.
They could. They might as well.
Mutos, more Mutos.
More Mutos. You know, I just think it's interesting, like a lot of these articles have been coming out this week. Like you had Ridley Scott talking about the dangers of like giving these big budget movies to small time directors so they can't handle it. Jodie Foster's come out. She's like superhero movies are ruining the movie going experience. It's funny. You slowly get more and more of these bigger stars. I don't know if they're just bitter or jealous or maybe they have a point. I think we could see more of these moving forward. In 2018, why? Here's the live action shit we're getting in 2018. February 16th, Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler. This movie has got everybody excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
See, this is another one of those movies that's going to be the first comic book superhero movie, Blade, that never came out.
Yeah,
it's going to be hyped that way, but it has a black director, so okay.
Largely black cast, but that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, I would say the black cast though, it makes it.
Oh yeah, okay,
unique.
so okay, whatever.
And a very, an amazing cast,
right? This is a big, it's a big movie. I mean, they're making a statement here with this movie.
This is,
This is a very bold statement of a movie to make, and they're doing it with this character. It's very timely. So it's going to have implications. So it's going to be big. I think it's going to be huge.
I think it's going to be huge. Scott Derrickson on Twitter, the guy who directed Doctor Strange, tweeted recently, Doctor Strange right now is the highest grossing Marvel origin solo movie. He goes, but I think that's going to change in February.
The only thing I don't like about this movie is that they're doing that thing where they have the bad guy that looks like the good guy.
Yeah, he's got the gold suit fighting the guy in the black and purple suits.
Yeah.
They always do that.
It's like the first Iron Man started.
Marvel's done that so many times now.
Rumored runtime on this movie, 2 hours and 15 minutes. So nice.
As long as possible.
Yeah, nice chunk. That's a good runtime. I saw somewhere that he had started with a 4-hour cut of this movie. And he's got it down to 2:15. Then in April 13th, we will get New Mutants from Fox and director Josh Boone, the first of what he's calling horror X-Men trilogies that are going to be tributes to different horror genres. The trailer looks great. I don't know. This movie will be interesting. Maybe like a sleeper kind of low-profile hit, but
I think it's going to shit the bed.
You don't think it's going to do good at all?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Wow. I don't know if it's not gonna. It depends. If the next trailer comes out and it looks legit, then maybe people will go see it. But from there's no hype for this movie at all.
I love what Bellotti. Do you like the direction making these horror movies?
Like, I don't know what Josh Boone is.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I don't have any expectations, and I'm not really excited for this movie. We're talking about New Mutants, right?
Yeah,
yeah. I never read the comic. Like, who the fuck ever read that comic?
I read the New Mutants. I love the New Mutants.
Yeah, but it's actually almost as good as the X-Men or better sometimes.
Dude, it's fucking great.
Well, I was going to say, like, I mean, when didn't that end like in the early 90s? Then
Who's got the coke sniffle? Is that Anthony?
That's me, man.
Stop fucking doing so much
like
coke.
Trump at a debate.
Like Trump at a press conference.
When I'm not talking, I'm sniffling.
It's distracting.
Send some rails over this way.
I'll shove some Vicks up my nose and my asshole.
Then in May...
Wait, I don't get to talk about New Mutants? I just get to sniffle?
Yeah, stop. Okay,
fuck.
Anthony, stop sniffling, and are you excited for the New Mutants at all?
No, but I do appreciate that it looks like a fucking horror film, and it looks different. So I am not excited, but... If you make me watch it, Imran, I'll watch it.
I'm going to make you watch it, and they're basing this off a great run by Bill Sienkiewicz.
I'm more interested in how that now that Marvel or Disney may be finalizing a purchase on this, how this kind of fits in with everything. But I care about stuff that maybe like 1% of the population cares about.
It's got a scheduled date. I mean, it's being made. It's going to come out. So I'm interested to see
I
if
was
it's going
scrolling
to work.
through pictures of girls on my phone and sniffling.
Jesus. Oh, shit. That's a great mental image.
Yeah.
And then in May, the most anticipated movie, 10 years in the making, we're finally getting Avengers Infinity War, directed by the Russo brothers. Yes, and I mean, this thing is going to break all sorts of records. Do you agree or not, fellas?
I hope it's good. Oh, if it's a fucking comedy fest, I'm going to come in here like... Oh my God!
Not with the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Not with the Russos.
They know they can handle the balance.
They do Marvel better than anyone, I think.
Yeah.
I think
we're in for a fucking awesome
unprecedented amount of heroes, the biggest cast probably in any movie. I can't wait. It's gonna break everything. It's gonna break all records. And then June gives us Deadpool, the sequel. It doesn't have a title, directed by David Leitch, John Wick fame.
Should be cool.
Yeah.
From Fox also. We have Cable and Domino in this one.
I think this one's gonna not be good.
Yeah, this one will be interesting.
I think the action will be good.
Yeah.
I think it will have good like physical action, but will it be too much Ryan Reynolds? Can David Leitch like rein him in, or is Ryan Reynolds just going to call shots?
You got Cable.
You got Cable.
You got Josh Brolin.
We got Josh.
Shoulder pads.
So Brolin back to back. He's going to be Thanos in May, and then Cable in June. This guy's going to be everywhere. That's not bad. Then in July, we're getting Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel to Ant-Man, directed by Peyton Reed, who did the first Ant-Man, and this is being touted as a Marvel's rom-com.
They can't really fuck this movie up. It's like no one cares about it, that Ant-Man that much. It's like whatever they do is gonna be fun.
Sure, do a rom-com. You haven't done one yet. Might as well.
I'm
Maybe
excited.
Gets the chicks in the theaters.
Excited about it.
I like it. I'm curious to see how they make an Ant-Man and the Wasp film in between Avengers.
And
why? Like what? Okay.
So that being the first movie after Infinity War is interesting, and being a rom-com is going to be completely different. You got Michelle Pfeiffer and everyone returning.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. Now in October, I'm super interested in this movie for all the wrong reasons. It's Venom by Sony.
I forgot that was coming out.
Right? Director Ruben Fleischer, a Spider-Man spin-off character that's outside of any kind of Spider-Man universe. Sony's Marvel universe, I don't know, but you got Tom Hardy.
It's a dark horse.
You got Michelle Williams. You got Riz Ahmed. It is a dark horse. It could be amazing.
It's going to be a complete pile of shit.
It's going to be R-rated for whatever that's worth.
But you never know with this thing.
Yeah, this could. And if this is good, they're going to do Silver and Black. They got a Mysterio movie planned. They got a Kraven movie planned.
By the way, Rug Boy titled that movie long ago.
Yes, you
Silver
did.
and
We
Black.
went over that on the show. You were like, they should call it Silver and Black. And then they called it Silver and Black.
Oh, shit.
Just saying.
That was amazing. Then, dude, there's still more. There's so many movies next year. In November, X-Men Dark Phoenix from Fox with Sansa Stark as Jean Grey. directing debut.
Examine Dark of Phoenix.
Why does he always go back to the Asian accent?
It's easy.
Yeah, because you're a big, you're a Japanophile.
He likes Japanese stuff.
He's doing Chinese. Game of Thrones.
And Chinese.
He's not doing that.
Oh, he's doing the game. Littlefinger? Is that Littlefinger? Directed by Simon Kinberg. His first movie he's directing. He's been producing these X-Men movies for Fox. Never directed one. And Sophie Turner came out and said some shit about X-Men Dark Phoenix is going to revolutionize superhero movies. And I was like, fucking slow your roll there, Sansa.
They're all hyping this one up.
They're all going to revolutionize
I don't know what's gotten into me.
everything. Sansa. And
Sansa.
then, wait, I'm not done. This is not a live action movie, but I'm super excited. I put it in here. December 14th gives us the animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse feature from Lord and Miller producing from Sony. We talked about that trailer. I think it looks sick. I can't wait for that. And then finally, December, Warner Brothers gives us the one DC film for the year, and that's Aquaman, directed by James Wan. Out of all of these guys, outside of Avengers Infinity War, what are you most excited for?
Black Panther.
Oh, that was a pretty quick answer. Anthony.
Hello.
Anthony.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was blowing my nose. What's up?
Out of all these movies,
what are we on? Aquaman?
I said Aquaman.
Oh.
You missed it.
I missed everything.
The question to you is, out of all these movies, outside of Avengers Infinity War, what are you most excited for?
Besides Avengers Infinity War?
You can't say Avengers Infinity War.
Black Panther.
Everyone said Black Panther.
But then, okay, let's eliminate Black Panther. I'll go with... I'll go Aquaman.
Yeah, I was actually...
Really?
Wow.
I want to see... I kind of got an idea of what they're going to do with the underwater stuff, but I want to see if they really can pull that shit off.
But he said that he's not doing the air bubble thing. So there may be something else that they're got up their sleeve to show us the underwater dialogue or underwater talking. Okay. But yeah, I'm kind of... After Black Panther, I'm really... excited to see this Aquaman because Momoa is fun as the part. One little news note: we talked about the shakeup at Warner Brothers after Justice League's performance came out. They got rid of John Berg and they demoted Jeff Johns, sort of. Well, they've hired a new guy. Warner Brothers is promoting Walter Hamada to oversee its comic book movies for DC Film Operations. Variety has learned.
I thought you said Toyo Harada.
No, not Toyo Harada. Walter Hamada. He will serve as president of DC-based film production. In December, the studio decided to replace John Berg and Jeff Johns as the heads of the DC movies. Hamada previously served for a decade as production executive at New Line, a division of Warner Brothers. There he helped shepherd such horror hits as It, The Gallows, and The Conjuring. So this guy is responsible for It and The Conjuring.
So we're going to have scary DC.
So maybe and The Conjuring is... everyone loves The Conjuring in the horror genre. I heard it's very good. I have not seen it.
It's all right.
But this guy's going to be running DC films. Let's see if he can't do a worse job than fucking John Berg. And surprising disappointment from Jeff Johns, who will probably still consult.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they got to
do something.
They got to do something. They got a new guy heading up the thing. Other films coming out next year. I'm just going to shout them out. Yell if you have any comments. Tomb Raider.
I'll see it.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
I'll definitely see that.
Yeah. Ready Player One is interesting. Will this
Spielberg? Gotta see it.
Well, will this be a return to form for Spielberg? Because might
be a fucking shit show.
He hasn't really made a fucking the guy who
it looks
invented
like CG vomited
movies.
everywhere. But whatever.
I feel like he hasn't made a hit tentpole blockbuster fun movie in a long time.
Yeah.
Rampage, based on the 80s video game.
I saw the design for the crocodile. The one that's supposed to be Godzilla.
Yeah.
And
I kind of like it.
Yeah, I know Anthony was excited for The Rock.
I kind of
like it.
I would like it to be more anthropomorphically human, but yeah.
Then we got Solo, a Star Wars story.
This is a fucking... I gotta see this to see how bad it is.
This is... I'm seeing articles are saying this is the first Star Wars movie that is not expected to be the biggest hit of the year. Like, this may be too much too soon for the Star Wars. And so John Williams is going to do a score for Han Solo. I don't think it's going to save the movie. This is going to be a big shit show. I mean, I think that's why everyone's going to want to see what the fuck this movie is. And it's so soon. It's just a few months away. It's in May. Like, it's just weird. Also, the same month as Avengers Infinity War. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, at the end of the month is coming up. We got the Jurassic World sequel.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. Alita Battle Angel. Looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really, I don't know.
Anthony,
James Cameron associated? He didn't direct it. It was Robert Rodriguez who
Were you on the show? It was the article with the trailer with the girl with the big eyes.
Oh,
the
anime
come to life.
I definitely was on that show.
Yes, you were.
right. Yeah, I'm excited for that. No, I don't know.
Bellotti, you're excited for that one?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
I thought you would be.
I mean, like, it's like, okay, I'll go watch it.
It looks like an interesting concept. And then we're also getting Mission Impossible 6.
Oh, God.
Those movies, they're pretty good action
They're
movies.
always good.
They're pretty good action movies.
Okay.
And then, in August, Anthony, Shane Black's Predator.
Oh, shit.
I'm into that.
Remember that?
I like that.
Remember that?
I'm a Predator guy. I'm a Predator alien guy.
Will it be a Christmas movie? Probably. Is it going to take place on Christmas?
It should be.
You guys are really excited for this movie?
I like Shane Black and I like Predator.
I've missed the Predator. I'd like to see if they can bring him back.
I like Predator.
You predate her.
He's cool.
Yeah, I'll fuck her before you
I
did.
dated her before you did. I predated her.
I want to punish her.
You punish her. Punisher versus Predator? Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Why can't they make that movie?
Punisher versus Punisher versus Predator.
Oh, this is a great mashup.
Yeah.
What would you rather do? I'd rather punish her.
I would predate her.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't like sloppy seconds. That's why.
Oh.
And then in animation, we're going to get Gotham by Gaslight, The Incredibles sequel by Brad Bird. Teen Titans Go to the movies. They're making a Teen Titans Go movie.
No.
Suicide Squad Hell to Pay animated feature. Marvel's doing The Secret Warriors where Chloe Benet is playing Quake. It's going to be straight to DVD.
I gotta see what it looks like.
You got Miss America, Squirrel Girl, Inferno, Kamala
It's
Khan.
that Disney looking shit that they have on their channel, then fuck that.
Spider-Gwen is in this, but she's called Ghost Spider. And then there's like the Death of Superman, Warner Brothers at the end. Blah.
Well, why would your name be Spider-Gwen?
I guess Ghost Spider does make a little more sense because doesn't Spider-Gwen kind of give away who you are?
It's a marketing
Why would
thing.
someone even I'm going to fight Gwen?
Clearly, you're a girl named Gwen who's a spider hero.
Yeah.
Ghost Spider.
You hear that they were going to change the name of Miles Morales?
What? To what?
Yeah, Spidey.
Yeah.
Ew. That's dumb.
Spidey.
Wait. How would you spell it?
SPY and then -D.
Oh, that is not. That's fucking stupid.
Arachnid.
Oh God.
Just call him Spider-Man. It's okay. We know him as Spider-Man. There could be two people with the name Spider-Man. Arachnid. Spidey is not good. Don't do that. That's horrible. I don't like it. Okay, rounding out the show, fellas, we got some feedback from first starting with episode 200, The Last Jedi review. We got a comment from YouTube. You know what that means.
Oh, shit.
It's hateful and racist. No, it's not. It's not. It's actually a decent comment. Kane Dano Glory, YouTube user, says prequels were way better than this trash. Yes, crappy CGI, terrible actors, but the stories were Star Wars and actually, get this, makes sense. So I think you appreciated our review.
Acting was fucking deplorable.
The acting was stiff and wooden, but they were Lucas's stories, and so kind of consistent. And made sense. And then off our Punisher review, episode 201, listener Michael Cherkowski commented.
You're right. Punish her.
Is that one of your boys, Bellotti?
That's Bellotti's guy, right?
Oh, you know? Oh, Michael's your buddy?
Yeah, you guys met him at G-Fest.
He had a mohawk, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
he rock a
vampire
mohawk?
robots. Yeah.
Mike, how's it going? Thanks for listening.
Come on, Imran. I met the guy.
I forget. I met a lot. I meet a lot of people.
The worst.
I'm an idiot.
I didn't know he listened to the show.
Yeah, he comments a lot.
Yeah, he does. And he
got good opinions too.
Yeah, I like his shit.
Here's his opinion on our Punisher review and about the Punisher on Netflix. He says Disney needs to shit can whoever runs these shows. They follow some kind of arbitrary formula too rigidly, and the storytelling suffers. They can start by cutting the season episode orders down from a standard baker's dozen. Stranger Things runs at a lean, mean 8 to 9 episodes. Marvel doesn't need to cut it that close to the bone, but every show they've done so far could fare better if they ran no longer than 10 episodes. The Punisher is also hobbled by the same thing that hobbled Luke Cage, an overly elaborate and drawn-out origin for the villain, one that doesn't even really pay off by the season's end. I do give the showrunners credit for finding a way to take the character who is a murderous vigilante in the comics and translate him into something a bit more palatable in today's political climate around gun violence. Good stuff. I agree with all of that.
Yeah, we've been saying that shit about the Marvel shows that they should just cut them down and use the budget to make a bigger show.
There's got to be a reason that they make everything 13. Like, there's got to be some kind of thing they can't change, some contractual fucking deal.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. Why you feel them forcing themselves to pad the shit out.
Yeah.
When you don't need to. Also, did you see what Bernthal said to the alt-right fans of The Punisher? He just said, fuck them. So that was very
okay.
He's like, oh, fuck.
Okay.
He said, fuck them.
Go fuck them. Bellotti, where can the listener find you? Where's your shit at? Plug it.
My website is robo7.com. It's ROBO, the number 7.com. And I'm also on Instagram as Robo7, just the word Robo7. And Facebook at Robo7, the art of John Bellotti Jr.
And thanks again for the second year in a row ranking the movies.
You have like a very sexy voice, you know?
Oh, shit.
Really? That makes me feel really hot. I mean, thanks.
Yeah. Geek boner. Look, I think this may be like a new tradition. Every year we do the show, we can get you on it. This is the time of year you take a break.
Now you got to watch all the movies, John.
Now you got to watch all the movies. And Ruggs, this time you missed last year. This time you got to be on the ranking show. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Where can the listener find you?
Only one place you can find me. It's at Really Rug Boy on Twitter.
One place and one place alone. He's not allowed anywhere else. Hey, listener, you can also catch me hosting a trivia podcast called Trivia Geeks Live. There's a new episode out. There's a lot of swearing and a lot of insanity, and it's very funny. Go check that out. Link in the show notes. Subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating and reviewing, and tell a friend. Spread the geekery. Grow the Jock and Nerd Nation. Thanks for listening. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
I'll hear you next time.
Get your hand off my penis.
Get your hand off my penis. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
My spider shits are tingling.